I feel angry.
Ingrid Cruz and Mayri Teñedo were recruited to teach in the Louisiana public schools 2 years ago. They left families behind in the Philippines after being offered at least $43,000 a year to teach in the United States, about 10 times what a teacher earns back home.
What were you hoping that you get out of this teaching experience?
We really wanted to stay here. Most of my families are here.
I've been hearing stories of other teachers coming here and living the American dream.
My kids, I think, will have a better future if they're going to be here.
In all, Louisiana Federation of Teachers says 361 Filipinos came on temporary one-year guest worker visas, making them especially vulnerable. They say they took out thousands in loans to pay fees for jobs. Money went to Universal Placement International, UPI of Los Angeles. But the teachers say they were stunned when they learned they had to pay thousands more. They complained to the U.S. Department of Labor and the Louisiana Workforce Commission.
When we landed in LA, we were given a new contract, which they wanted us to sign. When we read it, there's another round of fees that we need to pay after the second year.
The Louisiana Federation of Teachers alleges recruiters threatened to send the migrant teachers back to the Philippines if they didn't pay up. Going home would mean big debts and no jobs to pay them off.
It was a cash cow.
You could get the visa re-upped twice.
Yes, their paperwork was being held by the recruiter. So yeah, there was a very, I think it was a very, very orchestrated business plan.
The Workforce Commission has ordered UPI to pay back as much as $1.8 million in excessive fees. The company is appealing. A UPI lawyer said this: there should be nothing wrong with charging a reasonable fee to offset significant expense and organizational effort. He says all parties benefited, and the Baton Rouge School District knew about the fee arrangement. A spokesperson for the schools says UPI was supposed to handle all recruitment costs. UPI President Lourdes Lulu Navarro dealt with the teachers.
What happens if you make Lulu mad?
I'm going to go home.
She's going to send you back home.
On Thursday, the Southern Poverty Law Center filed a civil suit claiming UPI forced these teachers into involuntary servitude. They accuse the Baton Rouge schools of conspiring with UPI to charge 30% of the teachers' salaries in the first 2 years, or they'd lose their jobs.
They can't go home and they can't walk away. That, I think, in the real world is much closer to slavery than we should be comfortable with.
Why didn't you just pack up your stuff and go home?
If we're going to go home, how are we able to pay those debts? Because in my case, I borrowed the money from my parents and it was loaned in the bank. And there's no way of earning that same amount of money back home.
Yeah, coming from a third world country, even if you're a teacher, you're a professional there's no way you can have, this kind of income.
Both women say these jobs have not been worth the sacrifice they've made.
We can talk all day about the case, but once you get to the part of talking about the family, it's really painful.
Why is it so painful?
Because you get to think, is it worth it? The time that you're away from them, the sacrifices you're making.
Was it worth it?
I'm trying to make the most of it. It's really...
It's ironic, you take care of other people's kids and yours is not there with you.
The schools say they didn't know that UPI President Lourdes Navarro had a criminal record. She was convicted of money laundering in New Jersey and pled no contest to charges of fraud in California. In this case, no criminal charges have been filed, but Navarro's attorney says she didn't tell the district about her past because the record has been expunged. Reporting for In America, Soledad O'Brien, CNN.